Hey everybody, it's Schmitty and this is Talkin Schmit, and today's episode is one of those ones that when I started this, 2.5 years ago, I had never thought I was going to do an interview with the magnitude of the next guest that I have. But here I am, episode 140-ish, maybe even 140. We'll throw it 140. Let's see if that works. Let's see if it sticks.
Yep.
Anyway, this is fucking Tex, John Gibson. Arguably the best Thrasher cover of the first generation of Thrashers, and arguably the top 5 Thrasher covers of all time. Amarillo pipe with the fucking shadow framing him right at 11 o'clock. It was him and KT in the pipe. We're going to definitely talk about that. But dude's a legend. Dude grew up in Texas. I could babble about it all day. I'm excited if you can't tell.
Head on down to your local shop. Ask Blood Wizard Skateboards. Or visit bloodwizard.com for all your conjuring needs.
Tickety-tack.
Here we go, kids. John motherfucking Gibson. And he's an Astros fan.
This is John Gibson, and we're going to talk some Schmit.
It's cool, like tonight is the night.
Here we go again.
Just give it the old college try, right?
Big dog's in.
Schmitty.
96 times, Schmitty.
Thanks, Schmitty.
We on? Schmitty?
Talkin Schmit.
That's called go to the hospital, bitch.
I be shit my pants, man.
Your Rolodex is fucking deep.
It's about the one.
Who's this guy thinks he's tough shit?
What's up? We're tastemakers.
Come on, Schmitty, what the fuck?
We're deep in the heart of Texas, and there's only 2 teams left, baby. One of them happens to be the assholes. And this next guest is John Gibson. And I don't know, are you a baseball fan?
Well, you know, a little bit. My family's pretty heavy into baseball. But, you know, since we're in the game, we're to the final game. I thought I'd get you an Astros hat just to rub it in a little.
Oh man, I like that the coach Dusty Baker. He used to be our coach, so I got respect for him.
All right, cool.
So how did this whole skateboarding thing start? You were born in Houston, is that right?
Yeah, I was born in Houston, and we lived in Pasadena, Texas, a little suburb of Houston, and that's where it all began, right there.
And you have brothers?
Yeah, I got 2 older brothers and an older sister. They're all like 1 year apart. And then I was like 5 years later. So they're kind of older.
Did having an older brother, is that how you got into skating, or how did you get your first board?
Well, how I got my first board, I believe it was the summer of 75, like the invention of urethane. I mean, I'll go outside and our whole neighborhood was full of kids, you know, older than me. They were all my brother's friends. And everyone was skateboarding this summer, and everyone was just so hyped on it. And I was borrowing boards, everything. And then once everybody went back to school, you know, only a handful left out there skating. So I'd go out. I went in the garage. I got my brother's board, started skating with those guys, and never got off. That was it, pretty much.
And what was like? Where would you go to get a skateboard in those days?
Well, you know,
like
they were really cheap. Yeah, they were really cheap boards. You know, I guess they got them at Kmart and Blue Light Special, or, you know, some crap like that. And, but eventually there was a Swin bicycle shop in our neighborhood, right on the edge of our neighborhood. And they had a little skateboard section. And that's where we first saw Skateboarder magazine come out.
Okay. That's what a lot of people say. Like the bike store started kind of being a little zone for skating.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, and when we would go in there, we couldn't touch anything. They had all the bicycles everywhere, and they would watch us with like a hawk, and we'd just gaze and put our pennies on the counter and buy a Skateboarder magazine, and then that was it, man. We were hooked.
And this is before skate parks, right?
Oh yeah, before skate parks. And the one good thing about our neighborhood was we had curbs. You know, these different kind of curbs, like instead of the red curbs that everybody slappies today, ours had or transition curbs where you could carve on, you could do tail blocks, you could grind, and it was pretty cool, man. And all these ditches around the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's a pretty lot of ditches down there. So is that, as a kid, are you kind of putting two and two together already? Like, this can go there?
Yes, exactly. First, we're hanging out in the ditches, you know, catching turtles and all that, just walking all up and down miles and miles. And then when we were skating, we'd have a skateboard too, but we didn't know what dropping down the sides of them, but there's water there. You know, it's kind of like a wave, but then we'd come upon one that's like a spillway off to the side. We're like, whoa, we could just ride here. We could dry this water up out here, build a dam. Boom. That's how we started, man.
And you're about like what, 12 or 13 or something?
No, I was younger than that. I was probably 10. Yeah, because I was 13. I was born in 64, so y'all can do the math. I don't know. This is like 76, 75, 76.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the vibe like in the neighborhoods or at school? Like, are you getting heckled and shit for having a skateboard, or is it kind of cool?
Well, it was kind of cool. You know, they wouldn't allow us to have it at school. Anyway, we couldn't even put them in a locker. Schools were, you know, they were lame. But afterwards, you know, we'd be skating around. It was only me and a couple of people in the neighborhood. Toby Herrera, man, we'd just skating, go to the ditch. And, you know, back then, there would be surfer people that fucking rode the ditches and stuff. They rode these big longboards, pins, and no kick turns. They just slashing cars like they're surfing. And there was a bunch of them around. And they eventually warmed up to us. They didn't bite us too much. And we kind of became one. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But you could kind of differentiate, like, that's a different vibe than our vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Because we were young, you know, and there were older guys in the blue jeans. You know, they had driver's license and driving cars and stuff.
And are you just oblivious to, like, I don't know, photos or any like? Yeah,
anything. You know, I'm just skating. I just, you know, here's the skateboard. Everybody's skateboarding in the neighborhood. Well, you know, there was no magazine, nothing on TV. But then I started paying attention, you know, and then I see it on TV. And then I hunt out pictures. There's Skateboarder magazine. And then boom, so everything just starts coming together.
So Skateboarder magazine was at the Schwinn shop, maybe?
Yes.
As maybe your first sighting. And you're like, do you remember some of the names of the dudes that are like, damn, these dudes are rad? Like,
yeah, man. You could really read between the lines, you know, but all of it was rad. You know, we did everything. I mean, we didn't have, you know, then when TA and all them were doing the pools, when pools were coming in there, that we instantly were going to them, you know. But in the beginning, you know, we're doing stuff outside on the street in front of our house. And then we're just following, you know, the magazine's like, we're like 3 months behind. And once we see the pictures, man, we're like, oh, let's go find pools. And we were on the hunt constantly, you know?
Yeah, that's how it was for us too. Ours was more video driven, but like you'd see it and you'd be like, I got to learn that fucking trick. What the hell? You know?
And the pictures were so good in Skateboarder magazine. You're just like, and then you find you can figure out who the cliques are, what their groups are. And then, you know, like Dogtown and the Badlanders and all that. You see, and you can pick in between. You're like, I'm going to want to do that. This guy's got style, you know. You're trying to read the articles and stuff. You know, we studied it every night. You know,
so sick. And what's some of the early skate parks when you start seeing skate parks popping up? What are some of the early ones?
Well, see, there was this one that I found out about. It was called Graders in Pasadena, and it was like a total white trash park. You know, we were skating our ditches, and we heard about it. And I made my brothers take me there. And like they take me there and it starts raining and stuff. But these guys are still riding. There was this one guy, Randy Pye. He was just like ripping it because it was just one bowl. It's like this. It was like they just dug a bunch of dirt out of the way and poured concrete. It was really, really bad. But this guy was ripping the bowl. And I was just like, no way. And then it started pouring down rain and everybody left. And I stood there and I skated that bowl in the rain every day, man. I had a Logan Earth ski, no kicktail, skating barefooted. And that was it right there. I went to that park every chance I got a ride after that.
So was that kind of the spark for you that
Yeah,
made you want to push it to the next level?
Yeah, so I started learning lip slides. I got a better board, eventually up and up, getting a little better equipment.
And then do they start having contests there or local contests?
Yeah. They had lots of contests. They had freestyle, slalom, the bull riding. Bull riding had a big crack in it, man, but you can work your way around it. But it was so much fun. But it was total trash, man. It was the worst. Eventually, they built another skate park near us, a really nice one, Gulf Coast Skate Park. Became a local there with Ken Fillion and a guy named Doug Sopar. And that park was all cement, nice, but no vertical. It didn't have any vert. And that was what we were seeking out.
Was Ken from your area?
Yeah, Ken, he moved in. Like when I was skating the ditch and stuff, I remember I'm just sitting there by myself riding it. I see this guy on 10 speed coming down the bayou where there's water, and he's got to cross it to come to the ditch. And he's like coming, he's like sketching, he's got his board on his handlebars, and he slips on the slime going across the water and gets all wet and everything. He's like, he gets up and he's got a really deep voice. He's like, damn, that water's cold. And I just remember laughing and I skated off, and I guess he went to the ditch to ride and I left. But then eventually we came together at the ditch and we've been friends ever since,
That guy's like a class clown type guy, right? Like all humor and everything.
He's the funniest person I've ever met, man. Mm-hmm. You're just rolling. You get stomach aches, man, cramps, laughing so hard.
Oh, man. Talk about the rivalry between Dallas and Houston. What was that like?
I don't know. Dallas, they think they're hockey players or something. They're all padded up and ready to go like linebackers or something. And we're all in Daisy Dukes and no shoes or one shoe. We're all sharing shoes. Yeah, that's about it, really. We all became great friends eventually. Eventually we did.
Was there early times where you would go to Dallas and there was vibes and stuff, or was it?
Oh, no, not vibes, man.
No.
It's just, everybody's into the whole thing. Maybe a little vibes, but not bad, not too bad.
Okay.
Because we would go to like contests, say at some other town in Texas, like Killeen, and they would be there. We would be there. It would be like, it's like pipeline guys going to, people from Del Mar or something, But
right.
It was pretty cool. It was all right.
I mean, California was a little more locals only vibe maybe than Texas, but I know that like Strople was talking about like the coast versus the valley was like, we're not mixing.
I know. I guess it was when it's an everyday thing, you go on and everything. But when I went out there, man, everybody was getting along. It was cool.
Okay. What was your first sponsor? Was it Caster?
No. My first sponsor, of course, was the skate parks. I was on the Skater Creator team. Then I was on Gulf Coast Skate Park team. And then, like you're saying, like people from Dallas would come down, and Jeff Newton brought Craig Johnson down, Dan Wilkes, and a handful of other people. Phillips wasn't quite there yet, and he was making boards out of his garage, Zorlac boards, right? And they came down to skate at Gulf Coast for a contest, and Newton asked me, he goes, "Hey, you want to ride for Zorlac?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So that's actually my first board sponsor. And then I left with them from there and rode up to Dallas with them, and we skated around. And then there was the contest in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, the Oklahoma Skate Championships. So I rode with them. I'm riding Zorlac and go up there, and there's pros on tour, right? It's like Chris Strople, Shogo Kubo, Dennis Martinez, Steve Cathy, and Tony Gitan. They're touring the States, right? And they come to that contest. And, and I just learned ollie airs, just learned them and stuff, And so I'm sitting there skating. They had a plexiglass ramp there because the park was really lame, no vertical, And then, so I'm doing some ollies. That's when Chris Strople walks up. He's like, "You want to ride for Caster?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man, yeah." I'm like, I'm not putting two to two together, like, because he's going, "I'll fly you to California. I want you to ride for Caster right now." I'm like, "Sure, man, no problem." And then I'm not thinking about it. And I look over, I see Strople and Jeff Newton talking. And I was like, oh shit. Oh yeah. Oh shit. I'm up here with Newton in there, man. I'm riding Zorlac. And then Newton comes over to me and goes, hey, I heard Chris Strople asked you to ride for Caster. I go, yeah, he did. He goes, well, what'd you say? I said, fuck yeah. And he's like, threw his hands up. And, they all talk and everything. I think Strople eventually gave him a pair of magnesium trackers, man, for like a trade. And I wasn't even thinking about it. Then we had to drive home after the contest. And I'm in the back of the truck with Craig and everybody, all the Zorlac guys. I'm like, oh shit. It was like the quietest 5-hour drive we ever done.
Wait, you hopped teams and then went back with the original team?
Yeah, I had to ride back to Dallas with them. And then, he took me straight to the airport, fucking no rest or nothing. I had to call my mom, I need a plane ticket. Fly me home.
What was the first time meeting Craig and them like? Was they like, what was their persona like and how did it all go for you guys?
I don't know, Madrats, man, super short, big old bulky knee pads, helmets, and we're just, I don't know, man. It was kind of intimidating, but and they were, I don't know, they're pretty arrogant, but I can't talk bad about them because we're best friends now and everything, Did
you ever wear the Madrats?
No, I had the SIOs, which was Barry, Barry, the skate doctor. He was in Dallas. In the early days, he was always in Dallas and hung out with Newton. And I think he worked at the skate park there, Free Flight Skate Park. And he was making those shorts, SIOs. I don't know many people who know what that stands for, though. I don't know if I should, it stands for Skateboards Inside Out. That's what it stands for. And those shorts I wore those, but they were short too. We all wore those shorts back then. Too much.
Yeah, the style is always cool. What's that? So then you went, it's crazy. I was thinking about it. You were in a small town called Pasadena and you go out to fucking skate in California with Strople in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And then that was where the, what was it called? The Sierra Madre or whatever, the pool that Strople had the first Thrasher cover. You were there for that. You were skating.
Yes.
You were inside the mag skating the same pool, right?
Yes, exactly. We were at the Upland Gold Cups. It was the last Gold Cup of the series of 5 contests. And that's when Thatcher and Mofo and Fausto, they come walking up. They're talking to Strople. Because Strople, I guess, was having problems with Tracker. He was trying to get me to go to Indy right then, too. And I'm like, well, they're loving me now. They're not loving you. And that's when they go. And Strople goes, hey, I know a pool. And he told them, so we break away from practice at Upland. We go to Pasadena and skate that pool. It's really cool because that picture of me skating that, doing a little ollie over the stairs there was taken by Fausto. And he doesn't even take pictures, man. Yeah, he's got the photo credit in there if you look at it.
Oh, that's sick.
That's what makes it unique, It's pretty cool.
What was
I was riding trackers.
What were those dudes like? What was meeting Fausto and KT and Mofo? What were they like back then?
They were great, man. They were totally cool, man. It's really mad respect, giving me any respect. In return, we were friends for many, many years, still friends today. But we became great friends after that, because when their skating went through such a change after that Upland Gold Cup. I mean, it just completely died and everything. And we're coming back up through the underground, and Thrasher needed content. And that's when Jeff Newton had to shut up the skate contest. And that's when it all started stacking up then. That's what made, Texas was a big part of getting Thrasher to getting it up there, getting scenes going around the country. It was like DIY all the way,
So talk a little bit about that. So Jeff created like the idea of having this contest. He was already doing Zorlac. He was contributing to the mag, writing some articles here and there and whatnot, right?
Yes, exactly. Like say, I was still writing for Caster after the Upland Gold Cup. I think they had another contest a little later, the Lakewood Pro-Am. They had that, and there was like 0, banners up there, and that's pretty much how they paid for it. And then after that, I remember I came back out the next summer because I spent all my summers when I rode for Caster out in California. And I think it was 82. Went out there. There was no contest the whole summer. Just one at the very end was a Del Mar contest. And I remember I couldn't even, when I put shoes on to go practice before that contest, it felt weird because I've been on the beach all summer. So then after that, everything's dying, and I fly back home, and then I'm not going to California anymore. And Newton calls me. He's like, man, I'm going to put your board out. Put your board out. I go, man, I'm not quitting Caster. I can't quit Caster. No way. It's the best team ever. He goes, oh, they're not doing anything. I was like, well, let me talk to him. And I was like so scared to call him and everything. Finally called Wally. I talked to him first. And he's like, yeah, Caster's not doing anything else. So that's when I start riding for Zorlac again. It's my second time. So, and then Newton's going, yeah, I'm doing these contests, all around Texas, like San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Corpus Christi, all the summer of 82, 83, 84, and then it just took off after that. And the contests were killer. They were all backyard, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger each summer.
Right.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, and then what was your very first graphic when you got the first board?
Well, Newton asked me what I wanted for graphics, and I was like, well, anything. I don't care. I just want a cow skull in it, because the name Tex just kept coming up all the time. From in California, nobody knew my name. They just remember me. They're like, oh, that guy from Texas, Tex, kind of thing. So yeah, how about a cow skull? It'd be good. So I think computers were just kind of rolling out. He was messing around with clip art, and he found a cow skull. And then those demons, and he never really liked them. I always liked those graphics. And he only made a few of those boards, not that many boards with those graphics on it, with the kind of demon guys in the back. And then that's what Pushead did. He did his version of those graphics. And
okay, so the first graphic wasn't Pushead.
No,
that was
it
Newton?
was. I don't have that board. I don't have the board anymore. I had one. And it was only like 800 made, I think, the first one.
No way. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
I got something. I got a shirt, I think. Have you ever seen him? You haven't seen him?
Is it the one that it's like the board color comes through the middle and it's like a V?
Yeah, it's like got three demons. Hold on a second. Let me see. This 80s Zorlac stuff. Can you see it?
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
This one doesn't have any colors or anything, and this was total 80s cut, all mid-drift and everything.
Did Newton do that graphic?
Yeah, Newton did that one because I told him put a cow skull, and this is what he came up with. And then Pushead, if you look at Pushead's compared to this one, he did his rendition of it, in his style, his art. And so then began the Pushead graphics that ran off for.
Yeah, how did Pushead get in the mix? How was he?
Well, when I worked for Caster, I was kind of a local out in Del Mar. It's the summer of 79. I was riding it every day there, and then summer of 80, 81, 82. But that first summer in 79, I think he was working at the skate park in Del Mar. And we kind of became friends, we talked and everything. And then when skating went underground, would die and went in the grave, it was underground. Somehow Newton got in contact with him. And he's like, oh, I know John. He said he knew me, that we'd been skating together when I was on Caster. So he drew up some graphics, sent them to Newton, and it just took off from there. We're like, oh, we love it. Let's do it. I'm pretty much, I don't care. I just want a cow skull. Anything is what I'm saying, But yeah, so it just took off from there.
And those are the iconic. I mean, when Pushead got involved, like that stuff is so sick, and a lot of that shit is worth a lot of dough these days, like eBay and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, I see it on there. I'm like, God, when do I get paid? I'm sure Pushead's probably saying the same thing,
Okay, so then later when you got the cover.
Yeah, that was with Thatcher went with us. Oh, we took him there.
Yeah, talk about that. That's Amarillo.
Yeah, it's in Amarillo. I don't know. He called up. You know, we were friends. You know, it's the early days of Thrasher and stuff, and you know, we hang out all the time when we're at contests and stuff. And he calls us up and goes, "I want to do a story about the pipes." You know, because the pipes were really secret before then. And we're like, "Okay, we'll take you. You know, we'll take you. You know, he flew into Dallas, and I drove up from Houston and met with Craig, and we all spent the night in Dallas, and then drove to Amarillo, which is a pretty long drive. We get to the hotel, sleep, get woken up because you got to sneak into pipes at dawn so you don't get busted. That's the main thing, is don't get busted, because they will take you to jail, and no one could maybe never find you, you know? So we go there, and it's like in the morning, no fucking light at all. So you got to jump up this, I don't know, 16-foot cement wall. And then you got to grab on and go over like an 8-foot steel fence. Or you can take the boat around, or like a blow up canoe, kind of going around with the equipment. But we chose to go the short way, not the long way. Plus it's the middle of winter and it's cold as fuck. So we go jump over, and we're freezing balls so much in the pipe. Sun's not up yet. That's when we start skating, faking, and back and forth, trying to get warm, and then try to sleep, go back and get some more sleep before the sun comes up. And then sun started coming up, a little heat coming in, and we're doing fakies, and then start ripping. And that's when that photo happened, right then, right at dawn patrol, right when sun was just coming up. Yeah, like that's why I have all the jacket on, full pants and everything. Later, if you look at the other pictures, you know, we start losing clothes and starts warming up a lot. But part of the beauty of that cover is that that you're almost framed in the shadows. Like the sun is beaming in, and you're in the sun, and the rest is shadowed. It's like, was that kind of like orchestrated, or was that just luck of the draw? That was all spur of the moment. I mean, we just starting to skate, and like I remember it being really dark, and he was trying to shoot flashes and stuff, and we're just really skating to stay warm. It's fucking freezing balls, you know. And then the sun just peeked over right then, right when I was just happening to be doing something. And then I remember he called me later and goes, "So you got the cover, you got it." I'm like, "What, really?" He goes, "There's this one picture you're not going to believe. Wait till you see it. I'm not going to show you till you see it." I'm like, "All right, kill it." That's what I was going to say is like, I mean, obviously back then there was no digital cameras, so it's film. And so you don't even see it for like, till you get back and develop it. And then you're going through it with the little thing, and you're like, "Oh boy, look at this one." Yeah. And see, and I'm not getting to look at it. He's all doing that, but he picked it out. He's like, calls me, he goes, "You got the cover. It's just one picture. He's just all stuck." I'm like, "What's going?" I mean, it's one of the best covers of the mag's history. I think like we continually ask people favorite covers, and that one is always in like people's top 5, you know, like. Is it better than Strople's? Better than Strople's? I don't know. Strople's is rad. Strople's is rad because his is the first. How the hell do you know? You know, he had the first photograph on a cover, but I like yours because, like I said, it's in a pipe, and the way that the sun is, I think the shot is just a little more artistic. Strople's is rad though. The grind. They're fully slapping it, man. Yeah, cool. It's super sick. I mean, you know, there's other two good, really pictures of that. I think they put it in one of the photo annuals that Thrasher put out. It's like one where he got the it's really hard to tell the elbow where it's shooting up, and I'm like doing the front side there, and then one of Craig, like Craig's shadow looks like. Craig's shadow is in the center. It looks like some deformed monster, you know. Right. Shadow. It's pretty rad. It's in one of those Thrasher like photo the book, annuals. Maybe. Yeah, it's something like that. It came out not long after that. What was it like when KT gives you a call? Do you just know, like, okay, this is like, does your mindset go to like, we're shooting for the mag, this is sick, or is it another day, or what? Oh, it's not really like another day, because it's pretty special if he's coming to Texas or we're out there in Frisco. And he's like, "Hey, let's go do some photos." Like, yeah, let's go. You know, that was one thing Strople always told me. You know, hey, you know, your buddies with the photographers, ask them to go, off campus, wherever the contest is, go to other places, and get some shots. And we always did that with KT. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted other stuff, local stuff. Like when he come to Dallas or Houston. He announced contests too a lot,
Yeah.
Cool.
And he just had the energy that was addictive. Like you were drawn to it. You're like, okay, that guy's rad. He wants to have fun and he's going to be productive.
Yeah. I was pretty upset when he left Thrasher.
Yeah. I don't talk to him too much anymore. I miss that dude. He was so super sick. He was a huge influence when I first started working there. He was definitely, he used to come down to our skate shop in the peninsula just out of the blue all the time, just to check in and do his little, and he had his, it was, KT's the best. Strople, he was a pretty big influence though. Yeah.
Big influence. I mean, from the beginning. It's so, it's strange. I might have left out a part, like when he saw me in Oklahoma skating when I was doing ollies. I actually met him, I don't know, a couple months before that when he came to Gulf Coast Skate Park. And that was like, they were on this tour, with Strople and Shogo and all of them. It's like the same tour. They come to our local park and he gives me a caster board because I'm allowed to skate with him. They're doing like a demo at our skate park. And so he gives me a board. It's like a wedge shell caster. And I'm like, I already knew caster was shit, in Skateboarding magazine. You could just tell, you see who's riding them. And it's always Strople and Wally, the IPS. And so he gave me that wedge shell. And then later, when I rode that board, rode for Zorlac, went to Oklahoma with Jeff Newton riding for Zorlac, then saw Strople again, and I learned ollie airs in between that. He's like, you're riding for caster for sure now, So then after they leave, I go home and it's like school year. I don't know. I think it's a freshman in high school, right? So and I'm telling everybody, I'm going to California. I'm riding for caster. Everybody's like, yeah, all stoked. And then a couple of months later, I'm still talking about it. They're like, well, whatever. Yeah, sure, whatever. And then like towards the end of school, I'm like, man, I'm going. I know it. I'm going. They're like, have they called you? Have you talked to him? I'm like, well, no. Like, everybody's blowing me off. Even my mom blowing me off at this time. Until that last day of school, I don't know how he knew it. Last day, I walk in the house, phone rings. I just happened right when I walk in, phone rings. Strople, you ready to go to California? Your plane leaves in the morning. Write this down. It's like Continental Airlines, 8 a.m. I'm like, yeah. Hang up the phone and jumping up and down. Call my mom because that's a latchkey kid, right? Mom's always at work. I just come home, got a call. I'm home later. And then, so I call her. I go, going to California in the morning. Got to take me to the airport. I got all the information right here. And I'm reading it off. She's like, oh, that's fine. Whatever. I'll fuck her. Next day, I wake her up 6 a.m. Come on, we got to go to the airport. And she just like, oh, that sounds great. She knows that ticket's not going to be there, but she's going to drive me there. She's going to let me get my heart broken the hard way, man. At the ticket counter, no ticket, never heard of me or anything. But they typed it out. Here you go. And handed it to me. She's like, nope. Stop everything right now. You are not going to California by yourself. Land of Mansion and fruits and all that stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And she put a stop to that until I had to call because payphone. This is 1979. Payphone. Strople answers. Woke him up. Must have been 5 a.m. there, 6 a.m. And then Strople had to get his mom on, talk to my mom, and then they had a private conversation with Bill Caster. And she hung up and came back over the counter and goes, "Okay, you can go." I grabbed that ticket and ran down the hall. I was gone. Cool. She let me go by myself. I don't know if I would do that with my kids, man.
So that was the first time on an airplane?
No, I've been on an airplane before, but it's first time
to California.
I mean, staying like 2 months on the West Coast. My mom's never met anyone. I've only met Strople twice for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm just going out there blind, And it was cool, I land San Diego. And I'm like looking around. I really don't know what to do. And I got my Zorlac board still. They still never sent me a board that whole 9 months, in between. I still got my Zorlac board, no nose, no tail. It's all broken to hell. And I'm going walking through the airport. I got it under my arm. And I noticed, I go, that guy looks like Tom Inouye. And it was Wally was standing there. I go, hey. He goes, oh, you text? Oh, he's like, I think he called me Tex first. He's like, you text?
Huh.
Like, yeah. Where's Chris? And like, I don't know anybody. There's Harry Krishnas everywhere trying to give me books and literature and stuff. Just, it's crazy. So we get my luggage, go outside, wait for Strople. He comes blazing up in a red Volkswagen Bug, right? Whoa! Stops. Hey, with Southern California accent. It was pretty cool, man. He puts all my stuff in the hood because I was not familiar with Volkswagen Bugs at this time. I'm only 13, right? He opens the hood up, throws my shit in there. I'm like, what, a hood? It's funny. So then I get in the car and he's like, get in the back. And I can step in the back. My foot goes through the floorboard to the street. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, it's cool. Just lift your feet up. It's like Flintstone style, man.
Oh, man.
Take off, man. And then he's talking to me. He's driving like this. Look at me. I'm like, look at. I'm like totally shocked and fucking cruising. And then we come and go up this big. I'm just amazed looking at California. All the hills and everything. There's no hills where I live.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And you see the beach.
We get to the top of this hill. All of a sudden, he looks at Wally. He goes, fuck, shit. And Wally's like, what? And he goes, we're out of gas. We're at the top of the hill. We're out of gas, right? It's got it in neutral. We're just picking up speed. Ooh, exit right there for Del Mar, Del Mar exit. Ooh, and then we start coming to a halt, coming up to the light. And then I remember, I'll never forget this. Scott Manlap pulls up and goes, hey, Strople, what's up, man? What? You out of gas? You need a hand? He goes, yeah, man. Could you help Wally and him push? And then Dunlap goes, laugh, and they just took off, left. And so we coasted up to the gas station, got gas, pulled up at Del Mar, and that's when Living a Dream began right there, pulling up in Del Mar in 79. That Hester series. It's unbelievable.
Del Mar was the place, right?
Yeah, that's the first place I went. It was the summer of 79, Del Mar Hester Pro-Am.
Oh, man.
It was, if you ever walked through a dream and then you realized it was really happening, that was the time it was. Because we were walking the parking lot, there's fucking Steve Alba, there's Jay Smith, there's Alan Gelfand, there's, you name it, Brad Bowman, fucking Pine. I could pick them all out. It's just like, what, is this really happening? I only dreamed this stuff at home.
So I was going to say, by that time, you were definitely aware of who everyone was more so.
I knew that from the magazines.
You've seen them in the mag.
Yeah, I'd only met like Strople and Shogo. And then after that, man, when I walked in there, everybody was so cool. I became friends with everybody. It just went from there. It's kind of why I got a lot of respect from the older guys and stuff, because I was there before the 80s came in and all that shit.
And it blew up.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was really cool.
And what was the theory? Like, where did the shape come from in your board? Like, you were one of the ones that had, the tail got smaller in the back. Yeah,
well, see, Strople wanted me to ride his board on caster, right? And he rode a real wide kind of pig. So I'm riding it. I couldn't really do ollies that good on there. I was really small. His board was big. I couldn't do it. And Wally's like, let him try to ride mine. I set his up. Boom. It fit perfect, man. Right? But his cuts were like little niches, right?
Uh-huh.
But I loved it, man. I could ride that board. It was like, first time I stepped on it, it was like, felt like that. And Strople was kind of bummed. He wanted me to ride his board. But it all worked out great. And then, so I rode Wally's board the whole time I rode for caster. And then I was going to get my pro model on there, on caster. And so we'd go to the shop with Wally, and we cut one out, but kind of more like an Andric cut, down closer, cuts by the back wheels. But then that didn't happen. So when I started riding for Zorlac again, he goes, what shape board do you want? I go, I don't know, man. Because he's wanting to do it really fast. Everything's like changing fast as shit.
Mm.
And so he goes, here, just like this. And he had my graphics here and he had it made. And it was like a Strople board. You know, and I was like, well, shit, man. All right. So I rode that for a little while. And then it was skating got really big. Zorlac was starting to take off a lot. So I had that new shape, man. I just went, I'm going to make crazy, like instead of the inaway cuts, I'm going to drastically do it, put a fishtail on it. You know, we were just having fun. Personally, I did not think skateboarding was ever going to recover from what happened to me. I mean, it broke my heart in 79 when I wasn't going to go out and hang out with Strople and all them and Wally. You know, I thought it was all done. I thought skateboarding was just going to go away. You know, I went back home, back in my fucking stupid high school. It's like, I'm not going to California. I had nothing to look forward to. I thought it was done. And so I just like was having fun with okay, yeah, make my board. Newton, go ahead. Yeah, let's do these new shapes. I don't care. Oh, plus it's got graphics, cool. But then, you know, it started getting the underground came up and it was like everybody was united. So we kind of, then because really, I didn't even try. I didn't even care really about competition after fucking caster days. You know, it was just like, okay, I get to travel there. That's great, man. That's all I want to do is travel, skate some other spots. Oh, there's a contest in there, whatever, you know.
Yeah, use it for a means of transportation and get to hang out with bros.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's always been.
Learn the underground culture of the other cities, you know.
Yeah. What's up with talk about the clown ramp? That was where was that? Dallas?
Yeah, that was in Dallas.
Was that
you gotta understand? I know a lot of people don't understand, but Dallas is like almost 300 miles from Houston, right? Dallas is like just below Oklahoma. We like to call it South Oklahoma. That's kind of a little thing. Dallas, South Oklahoma. You know, we're by the coast and stuff. That's why we had that big surf crew that skated all around. So the clown ramp, if you go back to the skate park days of the 70s, we used to have this one park. We had 5 skate parks, matter of fact, in the 70s. I mean, Houston was thriving big time skate scene. It always has been. I probably always will. And so we had this fiberglass skate park. And they had that was where the vertical was. If we get rides out there or get people to drive across town to go there, that's where we went.
Okay.
So that place went away, but then they opened it up indoors. And they only had parts of them, and the rest were in storage. And when they they tore that one down. Newton came and bought the blue ramp, what turned into the blue ramp with the big boys played on the flat bottom. So he bought that. That was 2 sections of fiberglass. So after that, I don't know where he got the clown pieces. I think he bought it from somewhere up north in Jersey. And then he combined the 2, blue in the middle and the clown ramps on the side, and put it there at Bockham Lake. You know, the story's long about how all the different places that the blue ramp had been. It's probably something that you should talk to Craig about, or Newton. You should talk to Newton about it, because I can't remember that much. I mean, it's all foggy. It was back in 81 and 82.
But
I was right, the caster was right, that shit.
The main thing to it is it had lights or something in it, right? It was evidently
it was so you could score points. When it was built, like in the operation, if you get hit the bumpers or the little buttons, it was like 200 points. And you get the other one 500 points. You know, it's like that's why we call it a clown. You know, like a circus or something.
And
that's how
was it?
That's how the clown ramp name came about. It's like clowning around. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. But there was a guy named Marvin or something who owned it, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it Marvin? Yeah, Marvin. He had a little thing where he used to rent roller skates for people to skate around the lake there. And then when he goes, yeah, you can put the blue ramp. First, it was just the blue ramp. And then Newton acquired the clown portion some other later in the future. But yeah, and then he turned it into a skate shop. And then that place was 24/7 too. Had lights and everything. We'd go there at 2 a.m. and skate and stuff. If it wouldn't sweat and get the condensation on it.
Yeah, that's
we skate fiberglass when it gets slippery at night. Gets all that wet stuff on it.
That's kind of like part of it's like Arizona too, right? Like you kind of want to like skate in the evening because it's so fucking hot in the day.
Exactly. Because 105 during the day, 99% humidity, not a cloud in the sky.
I skated that metal ramp in Houston one time and did like a slide in my arm. I thought I burnt my arm off. It was so gnarly.
Oh man, my friend Toby, we see what the skate park in Houston was, the Kahuna ramp.
Yeah.
Before that, in the 70s, it was called Texas Twister, right?
Okay.
And it was a shitty cement park. But the guy there, Dennis, and his father and them, they worked in some steel place. They had a half pipe there with no flat bottom, no rollouts, but metal. And it was pretty wide. It was state of the art back then. And it was so fast. But if you skate it in the middle of the day, you're fucked, man. Totally fucked. Like I was about to say, my friend Toby fell and he skinned the top of his leg down and he laid there just for a few minutes. And then we went out there and got him up and it was cooked. It looked like beef jerky. Is where he scraped his leg.
Yeah, like
it just cooked him that quick. It was bad, man.
Yeah,
bad.
Just gnar. Yeah, I was always tripping on that because we went through there, I think either 2 or 3 times, like crossing through Texas, and we'd stop it. I'd be like, why the fuck would they put metal in the hottest place ever?
Yeah, I know. It was fast and smooth, but there's a price to pay.
Right. Do you remember meeting Jeff Phillips for the first time? Like when he came on the scene?
Yeah, I think it was some contest that everybody was talking about this new guy from Dallas. That's like, he's skating really good or whatever. And like, what? But he's riding gold wings, man. I see him over there riding gold wings. And, we used to give him shit. But yeah, he came on the scene. There he was, killing it. And then we became good friends right away. And then, but he's got that Dallas attitude, Dallas enducted. I don't know. But it was cool, I didn't know him from the skate park days in the 70s and stuff. I knew Craig, I knew Dan, I knew all the other guys. Phillips, I guess, was a local at Wizard Skate Park where Dan skated a lot, but I don't think I ever skated there. And but anyway, when the ramps came in, he was there killing it. I think he was riding for GNS. Well, first he was riding for Zorlac.
Yeah.
Then he rode for GNS. And he quit GNS and started. That's when he got on Sims.
Yeah. Okay. That photo Mofo has of him at Clown Ramp where it's all blurred is like he's doing a booster. It's like one of my favorite photos. Like I got a print of it. I'm just like, that is what skating is for me growing up. Like, damn.
That's one of the best Thrasher covers, man, right there. Didn't he have the back cover too, I think?
Yeah. And he is one of the few, like there's like, I think, maybe now there's more, but I remember at one point there was like 3 or 4 people in the history of the mag that had the front and back.
Yeah. And it's so rad that he got that because he was always, when he was riding for Sims, it was like, because Dorfman owned Sims. And, but he was all in division. And Sims was kind of on the back burner. Phillips was winning contests and shit. And then fucking Gator would be on the cover and the back cover. All of this, he had a big hatred, man, for that. He was really pissed off. He was really bummed about that. That's why he went to Lights Beach.
But Jake said he was the one guy that could do a fucking 540 out of an invert. He's like,
yes. Yep.
You love that story.
Because he used to do his inverts, totally stalled everything, and he would pull himself from the coping.
Get this pump.
Yeah, you get the speed to do it. Any trick after that, man. That was his setup trick.
Right. Have you guys ever had problems with the law, like going to the pipes and stuff? Have you gone to jail or anything?
Yeah, at that time we took I didn't go to jail. We got tickets, but the time we took Salva there, they would fill what Salva calls wants to go to the pipes, right? So me and Craig were like, okay, you can either fly into Dallas, we drive there, or fly into Amarillo. It's like, I'll just fly into Amarillo. So we drive from Dallas, go up there. We get up to the Amarillo airport and they're standing outside. He's got, not only is it Salva, it's like 5 other Santa Cruz guys. It's Grosso. It's fucking, I think it's Rob Scott, maybe. Can't really remember. It's like 5 guys there, plus like a 7-man film crew. It's like just all these people are like, hey, we got to sneak in at dawn, and either y'all going to have to take a boat with all that gear around and come up to Spillway, and we can jump over the fence. And those guys in the film crew, they never once were trying to hide, or anything. Like when we were skating, finally, we had to stay at the mouth of the pipe. Stay up at the elbow. Don't hang out at the mouth. Well, that's where the heat is in the sun. And they kept hanging out there. Fully got us busted, Right. And I know they did that on purpose because they were filming for that Streets of Fire, right? And so we're like, okay, and we were riding OJ Wheels. We're kind of in there with NHS and shit. And so when the video came out, the film, our part, mine and Craig's, I think I had almost a full second. And Craig had like a quarter of a second. And that was it, man. Then it's all them skating the pipe. We're like, all of that and getting busted and getting tickets, at least they paid for the ticket,
Yeah. Didn't you have a doubles ad on OJ, like a photo in the mag?
Yeah. Craig's doing a backside arrow over me and I'm doing eye contact. Everybody thinks that's fake. Everyone I've talked to says, oh, y'all just did a setup. Like I was just sitting there with my tail while Craig did a backside arrow over me. I'm like, come on, give me a fucking break.
Oh, really?
I don't even answer questions like that.
Yeah.
Like fucking shit. That was, a little double session. We used to do that a lot.
Uh-huh. And so what happened with Zorlac? Why did you and Craig end up leaving?
Well, first of all, we weren't getting paid, and Zorlac grew so fast. Through that, we're like 84. It was just like phenomenal. He moved into a bigger warehouse. And what really was happening was, I think, but remember, they're keeping secrets from me. Everyone keeps secrets from me. I am the last to learn anything. And I still today don't know the truth, what really happened. This is what I think, that he couldn't get the boards made. Grew so fast, everybody wanted Zorlac boards. We're at the bottom of the totem pole. There were only like 3 wood companies back then, right? In 84. And they were making G&S and Santa Cruz and all those big guys out there on the West Coast. And we're just guys from Texas, right? And we got these huge orders, and they're not fulfilling. We can't get them made. Can't get the wood made. So, and then I think Newton's reaching for everything. He's trying to find wood companies. He's trying to get it made. And then it's like start digging himself a hole. And then Metallica comes along, right? They're all into Pushead. They love it. They love the whole vibe, everything. And we love Metallica. We thought they were rad as shit, the crossover. Everybody's digging it.
Yeah.
And it was rad. They're like, yeah, we'll do a Metallica board. And Newton's like, yeah. And he made shirts. Pushead did the graphics for it. And it's like, everybody loved them, buying them up. Metallica's taking off. Zorlac's taking off. Everything's fucking getting good, right? And we're starting to get money. Then all of a sudden, it's like Newton he invested all these Metallica boards, all these Metallica shirts. It's like fills the warehouse. And all this time, he's trying to sell those, but we're not getting paid. We're the ones breaking the pavement and everything. And then I go to a trade show, and everybody goes, man, I just put in everyone all over the country. It's like, trying to get your boards, man. Everybody wants to buy them. Can't get them. Newton's just sending them Metallica boards and stuff because he doesn't have ours made. He's only, what boards he get made, he's doing Metallica. And then Lars steps in. And Lars is like, hey, instead of $1 a board, there's 5 of us here. Or what is it? 4 of us here. We get $4. How many are in Metallica?
5.
Each person's getting $1 a board, right?
Okay.
We're only getting $1 a board, right? And Newton's like, oh shit, not. And then Lars throws in, and no merchandise. You can't sell any merchandise with Metallica on it. and Newton's already got a warehouse full of the stuff. And we're looking at Thrasher and everything. We're like, oh, look at everybody over in Sweden. Oh, look at them skating in Europe. Man, that looks so cool. Oh, look at this guy. I never heard of him. He's skating in Uganda or somewhere, South Africa, wherever. We're like, hey, man, why aren't we doing this? We're in the top 10 every once in a while. Come on. And it's like, man, we're getting older. We know it's not going to last. We want to get as much traveling as possible. And the only way we could do that was ride for, we didn't want to ride for anyone else, because Zorlac was like, this is our thing. We build our thing up. This is us, that's kind of scenes, you build your little thing like Dogtown, Santa Cruz, Northern Cal. And we thought we had it, but it wasn't working and we wanted to travel. We didn't have much longer. So we went over to Alba. There was a big rumor going around. I was in Santa Cruz at the time. I spent a lot of time out there in Northern Cal, that Santa Cruz was going to buy Zorlac, get them out of potential bankruptcy. And then under the umbrella of NHS would have been Zorlac. That would have been awesome. But Zorlac was too far gone, too much debt. They couldn't do it. They backed out of it. That was rumors. Now, I'll tell you, people don't tell me the truth of the thing. So this is what I'm getting out of it.
Okay. Did you guys ever kick it with Metallica? Yeah.
We hung out with them.
Cause
Craig hung out with him probably more than I did. He drove when Hammett was in Dallas. There was a party and this guy had a chair made out of bones. And Kirk Hammett wanted it so bad, he paid Craig all this money to put it on a truck. And first he bought it from the artist that had it in Dallas, and then paid Craig to put it on a truck and drive it out to Frisco to his house. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. Jason and Jesse told me the first time, like one of the first times he met you guys, you showed up at this session and he had never heard Metallica, but you guys had it just cranking like, well, I don't know if it was Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning, but early days.
Yeah, it was probably Ride the Lightning, and even before that, Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
I mean, when Masters of Puppets came out and Zorlac was like, Craig's new graphics came out, I never changed mine. I always wanted mine to stay the same. But Craig's graphics came out, fucking Master of Puppets. All of a sudden they were getting radio. I think it was that Chicago Blowout NSA contest.
Oh, yeah.
Right when I was about to drop in, that's when Steve Keenan, he was there taking pictures. He goes, Cliff Burton just died in a crash. And we were like crushed, man. We were so crushed. I couldn't even skate anymore after that.
No way.
Yeah, we were pretty tight with Metallica.
Yeah, that's heavy.
We were kicking it.
So what's it like when you're getting on to Alba? Like, how did that all go down? You knew Tony already and it was easy?
Yeah. Yeah, I already knew Tony, Duncan and Braddocky. We're all bros, we're all friends already. We all hung out at all the contests we go to. We're the ones that go out and skate other places and hang out and see the culture of the city and stuff.
Right.
And it was only like a natural move, and especially John Bally. Well, John Bally, I wasn't aware that he was running. He was the behind the scenes guy doing the business, right? Because I know him from when I rode for Gyro, for Caster. And so when I started riding for Alba, there's John Bally. So we were already buddies, just natural. We came in, they flew us out there. We hung out. We took Murph with us. Murph was with us, and Freddie, because Freddie rode for Zorlac before. And so we just jumped ship, went over to Alba, because Newton wasn't going to be able to do anything with Zorlac. They were so far in debt and everything.
Okay.
So we had to jump. We had to do something because we wanted to travel before our knees gave out in skateboarding.
Yeah.
Everybody else is traveling but us. And, we're like, God, we want a piece of the pie too.
You were on Alva when they had those like tri-tails, right? Like those real kicky tails.
Yeah.
I remember that's kind of when street skating started, and we swore that those made you ollie higher. It was like, wow.
They were pretty good, man. They were killer. And of course, me, man, I don't like change. I didn't change my shape. I'm still going with the cow skull that's what I wanted to do. And I remember those guys at Alba, they had their own wood company. They didn't make any other boards but Alba. That's why the Tri-Tail, and they were tough as shit, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't break them.
Right.
But the guy that used to have to shape my boards, and my board would come up, he's like, "Oh, I hate this. I hate this. I hate your board." I was like, "Well, get a night job." I don't know, man.
Did you kick it with Cooksey at all?
Who?
Chris Cook?
Oh yeah, I know Cooksey from back. He was one guy that came out in that Dallas contest back in 81 or 82, I think it was, where TA was a judge and the big boys played on flat bottom.
Oh yeah,
Cooksey was there. That's the first time I met him.
Damn, he's kind of our local. Like we all love Cooksey.
Oh, is he up there? Is he still there? Okay,
I don't know if he's still. Yeah, I think he is. But he skated this pit in Pacifica that was like so hard to skate, and he ripped the shit out of it. It was like there's Devil's Pit, and it's just like, dude,
Yeah.
Cooksey.
Yeah, that was him. That's his thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I fucking love Cooksey, man. I've known him for a long time, man.
for a long time. But you
And
did.
that's one of the reasons why going to Alba, man. Cooksey and and Hartzell and Radigi. Don't make me name them all. Danforth, of course, man. He was our buddy for forever.
Did you meet Felper through Fred Smith?
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I know Fred talks about Felper because he's a little Boston guy, right? He came from Boston, right?
Yeah.
That's where Freddie was from.
Yeah. But they were friends. I don't know if that's how you originally met him or not till later.
No, I don't know how I met him. I think I met him the first time I met him. I think it was that Thrasher death match.
Really?
I think so. Oh, maybe I've met him before. I don't know, but it didn't really stick in my mind. But then I was like, because Freddie's going, "Oh, this guy's running Thrasher now." I'm like, "Who?" Like Felper. I was like, "Where do I know him from?" He's like, "You don't want to know him, man." So I don't know.
Hey, the day that I met you, it was death match with him, and he got sucker punched in the bathroom, and he comes out, he's like, "Well, that's a first. I just got hit while I was taking a piss."
That's classic. That's cool.
Those death matches are so fun, though.
Yeah, that one was really cool. That's when South by Southwest was going. It started getting so corporate and stuff.
Yeah, it got too big.
Yeah.
What a lot of people might not know is you're the gnarliest foosball player I've ever seen.
$5 a ball, I'll play anyone, man.
Dude, you've been doing that for a long time, huh?
Hey, my brothers, man, Pasadena, Texas was a huge foosball town. I mean, the first place where one of the P-ramp, fiberglass ramp pieces that we had to steal, we put it behind the foosball hall there. So go in there, play foosball at night, chicks. In the day, we're skating the ramp in the back. Nice.
Do you got any favorite memories of coming to San Francisco?
Many of them, all of them. One time, like we're leaving Houston, right? And we're going to Florida to go skate St. Pete, Grigley's ramp, right? And Rob Robscott's coming from Ohio, and then Ridgeway, and everyone's coming on the East Coast. This is when skating was underground. And then we're all leaving the ramp, St. Pete's, and we're driving I-10 west, goes right through Houston, and with big caravan. And who's in the caravan? Rob Robscott has got his Camaro packed. He's moving to Santa Cruz because he's just got on the team. He's going to move there and get his board out and all that. And then there's Paul Schmit's moving Schmit's chicks from Florida. He's got his whole operation packed up in a U-Haul. And then Brian Ridgway, Marty Gemini's, a whole bunch of people all fleeing the East Coast. And they're all going to West. So they all following us, and they end up in Houston at my house, all of them, man. And they stayed, supposed to be there, sleep over, and then they're going to take off, and I'm going to stay home. Right? And so we go out, and we're skating. They're having such a good time, going out to the clubs. They all get girlfriends and everything. Stay for about 2 or 3 weeks, in Houston. They're supposed to be going out to the West Coast. So then they all leave. We got to go. And I'm waving to them by, and they're going. And then they stop. They go, well, what are you doing? Come on. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with you. And I run back in my house and grab my skate bag, my surfboard, jump in the car with Rob Scott. It was the only spot open. We move. If we head out there, go skate Del Mar. They all live there. And then me and Rob drive up to Santa Cruz. Boom. And then he's staying with those guys from Blast. And that's where he's got a little corner right there by NHS, right by the hook, where the hook is.
Yep.
So I go in there, I stay, and I meet all those guys from Blast. Dude, I stayed for 6 months, man. I had so much fun skating derby, going into the city, fucking hanging out with Banda Spec, rest in peace. And in Hayward, skating Lopes' ramp and everything.
Ah, sick.
And I had a blast. I swear I was going to move there. Swear. And remember, I rode out there, so I had no car or nothing. And then when I wore out my welcome, I had nowhere else to stay. I was going home. I went home. I got my car. I went right back out there and stayed. And that's when the rumor started going around that NHS was going to get, take over Zorlac. Still having Zorlac, but under the umbrella. And man, I was hoping that would have happened, because I would have been Santa Cruz local.
Yeah. Fuck.
And went into the city many times, all the time. Hang out with Street Scott, up on his roof, many mornings.
Sick.
It's crazy, man.
Did you skate Hunter's Point ever, the ramp?
Oh, yes. I love that place, man.
Yeah. Fucking
That
roll.
Yeah, that was one of the best half heights in California at the time, because usually they build ramps out in California. They're all so small, small transition, right to vert. But there was that other ramp that we rode too, that Fab took us to.
Page Mill?
I thought it was his, but he says it's not. So I don't know.
Maybe it was Heaven Ramp.
Maybe. I don't know, but it was really good. We had a really, really killer session there.
Fab was amazing.
Yeah, Cab was there and stuff, and it was cool. It was just all, no plan or nothing. It was spur of the moment. Those are the best sessions like that.
Fuck yeah. Well, what's going on these days? Are you still connected with Embassy?
Oh, yes. Lee and I, we're old friends from way, way back, And like in 2008, I guess it was like the skating boom, and then it was dying again or whatever. And Lee was wanting to open up a skate shop, and we talked about it. I'm like, well, let's just get boards made. I think boards are cheap to get made now, and try to keep it, keep the Texas dream alive. He's like, yeah. And then Lee just dove full force into it. So it just, let's do it. Let's build it up. And we got to get some great riders skating for us, traveling the world,
Yeah.
Duncan's all in there on it and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. And what are you doing you're working, what are you doing as a job now?
Oh, I work for the IATSEs, union jobs. I work for the sound department for the Houston Grand Opera.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, just because I was into music and everything too, and bands. So it's when skating died back in the past, I was like, man, I just want to record bands, go behind the scenes. And here I am doing it, I guess. We're not really doing it, but found an easy, a kickback union gig where I don't have to work too hard anymore.
That rules.
Yeah, that's too old for it.
How's this last year or so been with all the craziness going?
It's been totally fucked for me. It's been not really money wise, just fucking the reality of how things are going to be.
Like mentally, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, everything's changed. World's flipped upside down. We don't know which way's up anymore. I mean, it's just totally weird. Something is going on. Something strange.
Okay, somebody's got $500,000. You still got the Fred Astaire move?
Yeah. I'll do it for that, maybe times two. I'm taking the black heart attitude here.
The black heart approach.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. We always end it with a song. What would be a good jam to fucking throw on at the end?
Yeah, that's a hard question. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to go with that 70s song, that Doctor Please by UFO. I know it kind of starts off mellow, but kind of says it all.
Fuck yeah. Dude, it's a pleasure talking with you, man. I'm really stoked that you took the time and our pass finally. We went we threw 3 balls. We had 2 strikes. There was a couple guys on the bases, and then we hit the home run.
Yeah, or bunt.
Fucking, hey, Houston Astros, good luck to you.
We're not cheaters.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to touch on that you might have?
No, just fucking live your life day by day, and just we'll get through this, and things will look better, hopefully.
Absolutely. That's I feel you.
Well, we didn't touch on the Skateboard Hall of Fame thing that's coming up.
Oh yeah. With
Strople and everything that we're in at the same time.
Yeah, I was talking to Strople about it, and I was like, my favorite was that Blackheart won it the year that it wasn't open.
Yeah, I know. I've been talking to Blackheart too. We message all the time.
Oh, I love Blackheart. He's like my favorite. But yeah, so Hall of Fame they're gonna do a 2-for-1 this year, right?
Yeah, we're going out there. It's all set up. It's planned. Me and Strople I've got a board coming out. It's going to be my pro model from Caster.
Rad.
Yeah, I got the pictures of it, but nobody knows. I was trying to keep it secret, but I do little hints sometime online. What it's going to look like and everything. And got the old pictures from when I was riding my prototype right before. I kind of took it's going to be just like that one, pretty much.
Okay.
Not Embassy or anything. Watson's making them. Watson was the guy that made exclusively Caster back in the day.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the thing Strople's doing. He had his on Anti-Hero and stuff with Brasso.
Yeah.
He had his out already a long time. Mine's been pushed back. Hopefully it will be finished by the 12th. Yeah, and so Saturday, I think we're going to go to Pasadena, where Strople lives, out by there, and then barbecue and stuff. If you're in town, man, come check it out.
Dude, maybe we will. Yeah, that sounds fucking cool. I didn't know it was coming up so soon.
I know. It's coming up quick,
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of thought you were doing this with Chris and me before the Hall of Fame thing.
No,
it kind of worked.
Yeah, it was coincidental. And it was,
okay. Cool,
yeah,
man.
no, just a big fan, dude. I just love fucking talking to fucking skateboarding about, all the stuff I don't know about it. It's rad, like putting okay, I know this, and then you're like, oh yeah, but did you know this or this?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I could go on because I get off track. I'm not sure. My brain doesn't work as good as it used to.
How's your brain feel about the Hall of Fame though? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Was it like a huge, were you super stoked or you got mixed? Like, I know some people are like, there's politics involved with it and everything, but
yeah, I'm sure everyone that's, still involved in it. Skateboarding like the industry and like trying to keep up. There's probably people that got bad taste about it, right? But Mark Waters, dude, he fought for me to be in there. He did, and I feel so bad. I haven't told you about this or anything. I feel so bad because he fought to get me in there, and I'm honored to do it. I used to kind of think, because I wasn't in it or anything, I would talk, that's popularity contest, whatever. But once you're recognized, and those guys on the board, they recognize you. I mean, it's stoked. I get stoked on it. And Mark, he really pushed the issue. And we were talking and everything. And when the induction came up in 2020, they did the big film. I mean, the big, no one can go anywhere. They can't have the, what do you call it? They're doing the announcement, everyone that's been inducted for 2020. So we're all on lockdown, right? We're in our beds, no pants on. Yeah. We're watching social media. This is the announcement. And he says he had a last minute adjustment on the video when he played it. And I wasn't on it. It bumped mine off. And he called to apologize and everything. And I screamed. I was so pissed off because I had my family watching everything. I didn't tell him I was in. But I'm telling them they're making the announcement. I wanted everybody to get that. And then somehow at the very last minute, my segment was missed. And I screamed at him so bad, the fucking It's like, Mark, how did you let that? What happened? I had my family all around Texas watching, everyone. And I didn't tell him I was in. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He fixed it really quick. So when he replayed it, it was in there. But the initial moment, and I bitched out Lord Thornhill. I bitched out Mark so bad and everything. And then I think we kind of made amends and everything. And then he fucking died, man. I didn't want to leave it on like that. I didn't know he's going to die of COVID.
Yeah,
right after
dude.
that. Yeah, sorry, my phone.
No, it's all good. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's so bad. I feel really bad, but he worked really hard to get me in there.
That's insane. Like the way life's been working as far as people dying and stuff. It's just,
I'm telling you.
I mean, like Strople, he heard the same day that he was going to the Hall of Fame as that Grosso died.
Exactly.
Same day. Like,
see,
what
exactly.
the fuck?
And it's like, the love letters thing, man. I didn't really watch them that much when they came out. I didn't realize but then after the Strople and Jeff Ament, they flew me out there to come hang out with them. They wanted to, because we were like doing a reunite, because we really hadn't talked or been together or anything since 82, since those days of Castor, right? It's been all this time. They'd seen me in the magazines go up through Zorlac and Alba and all that. I've never seen Strople or Wally. All those years gone by. And then the love letters, Grosso, because he gives me props in there, and he gives props to Strople. Yeah. And then, not that I saw some of them, didn't pay attention. That's my fault. But then after being reunited with Strople and then all those guys, because I basically grew up where Strople's parents' house. Every time between contests, that's where I was. I knew people in Arcadia, Chris Robinson, who passed and everything, and Eric Nash as a little kid, and Grosso and all of them. Because I was in the same neighborhood, basically, staying at Strople's house.
Yeah, Lance lived there too, right? Arcadia.
Yeah, Lance, yep. And, but I was riding for Castor, and they were little kids, I was a little bit older than them. And Grosso was a little shit, He's just like he was like in diapers or something, man. But anyway, all that, since we reunited right before the pandemic, I started watching the letters, getting all into it. I was like, damn, Grosso gives us props big time, man. Yeah. It was really cool. And then he died. When did Waters died,
No. Grosso died like it seemed like the first week of the lockdown. Nobody knew what was going on, and then all of a sudden that happened. Then no one really knew what was going on.
I know, it's like we were locked out in March. They made the announcement of the 2020 people, and Mark, he's the one that fought. And then I found out he died. I was floored, man. I was floored.
Yeah, Mark was a good dude.
And then we didn't know. I was like, just typical me, fucking get my pro model on Castor, skating dies, and then fucking skate Zorlac, jump over to Alba, big time, and then skating with the street skating, and then now I'm getting into the Hall of Fame. COVID hits. There's no ceremony, nothing. It's just a little blip on the internet. I'm just like, fuck, this shit sucks, man. Get my hopes up, and then we're all gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, that's the lesson, I guess. Just gotta make the most of it each moment we have.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of fucking heavy ones, but
yeah. I'm telling you, man. The world is fucking upside down. People are dying. It's really fucked up. Because I watch all your podcasts. I see what you're thinking. You're thinking the same way I am. Friends are dropping left and right. But it's good to be honored, man. Like you say. I used to be negative about it, but I'm really not now. Something now with the museum, we're going to donate some stuff. Maybe my kids can come visit it when I'm long gone.
Yeah, that's what's sick. And I think that Strople had a really good point, which was getting the skaters involved more to be a part of this is gonna make it a cooler experience. If you got like these dudes that are like the self-appointed judges and everyone's kind of like, why him, why not him, and all that. But if you start getting like your peers and the people that are involved with it. Like, well, if fucking Craig said it, then fucking let's do it, like as opposed to like Donnie behind the scenes and no one knows who the fuck that guy is.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think things are good. And I know Mark Waters, I love that dude. He did a lot for me too. And I know he did a lot and he was working hard to make it a better place and a more, an avenue that people are going to, because this is a big deal and you want to be honored and you are honored. And so I think that it's important.
It's like, what? They paid attention. That's the way I look at it. It's like, what? They even know who I am. They paid attention.
Right.
I mean, shit. Fuck. I mean, that's cool, at least.
Well, I'm going to hang up and hit up Lee and rattle his cage, get him to send me some stickers and shit. And send me your address and I can send you some stuff too.
All right. No worries, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time. And
all right, man. It's great talking to you, Schmit.
Fuck yeah.
Right.
Thank you, John.
Later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talking Schmit. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. When you subscribe, you'll get notifications every Tuesday of new episodes the minute they become available. Also, please leave reviews and a 5-star rating. It's the best way to help the show grow. All of the episodes will always remain free, but if you would like to help support the show, you can do so at TalkinSchmit.com, where you can pick up some merchandise like t-shirts, beanies, hats, and stickers. The website has an entire archive of all of the episodes, with extra photos and videos. Email us with any suggestions, comments, or ways that the show may have improved your life at talkinschmit@gmail.com. All interviews are conducted, edited, and produced by Schmitty. The intro music is Mary's Cross by the band Nature. Very special shout out goes to the executive director, Sharal Camisa.
Shout out.
Love it!
This is Talking Schmit, where the Rolodex is deep, but the conversation is deeper.